Hello, hello, my hey, I got something to say. People, thank you so much for tuning in over the summer. I was almost going to take a break, but you're like, where's my hey, people? So it's like, all right, I'm going to keep it going with a few weeks off. Of course, you understand. My guest today, I am so excited to bring you Dina Bell Nance is in the house. How are you, Dina?
Woo!
I am so excited. We got to chat before this and I got to get to know you, from Prop Up Tuesday. So
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
we're like old friends now.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it. And I love the fact that you keep, I can't explain it, but it's almost like you keep exciting me to keep Prop Up
Wow.
Tuesday going.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, your
Wow.
energy, your enthusiasm. I mean, I knew it was going to be good. I just didn't know how.
I
So
love
thank
it.
you for that. I really appreciate it. All right, Dina, we're going to read your short bio first, and then I'm going to talk about the one thing you wanted to say to women and men around the world. So here we go. Dina
Yes.
is considered a highly sought after global speaker, thought leader, and engaging facilitator with a desire to spark passion, purpose, and power, the three Ps, into every group she encounters. She has also been identified as an expert at designing, developing, and delivering customized learning and development solutions for both the public and private sectors. Ms. Nance believes that by educating, equipping, and engaging, oh my God, three E's, your staff with a spirit of excellence, you are able to create healthy and collaborative corporate cultures that will outlast the competition. She brings over 35 years of project management, learning and development, and instructional systems design expertise. You are in the house, Dina. I'm excited.
You are
Are
so
we gonna,
precious.
we're going to get a lot
Thank
of
you,
tidbits
Sandy.
in here.
Thank you,
So,
Sandy. Thank you. Wait a minute. And Sandy, before you ask your first question, I would be remiss if I did not take a moment to say thank you. I just from the bottom of my heart, thank you for sharing your gifts, your talents, your energy, your expertise, and your platform with others. So I just wanted to say thank you. And I love Pop-Up Tuesday. So thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you so much. Thank you.
and I'm good to take that. I'm very, very grateful. Well, the first thing we're going to get into is I always ask my guest, what is the one thing you want to tell women and men supporters around the world? And you picked, you were created for purpose before you were put into your mother's womb.
Woo!
Time to believe it, walk in it, and share it with the world. Okay. So why did you pick that? Of all the things you could have picked.
There were so many comments and statements that dropped in my spirit. But the first piece is while I am a business owner, I'm also an ordained minister. So I'm an associate pastor at a church. So on a daily basis, Sandy, everything I do is marketplace ministry. Everything I do, I enter the prison, I enter the church, I enter FAA, I enter different agencies, I enter different places, and I am clear that when I walk in there, I know what my purpose is, but I also know my assignment is to help men and women truly know that the purpose they have today didn't just happen last week, didn't just happen last month. It was assigned to them before they were in their mother's womb. And I tell you, as you asked me that question, lots of things popped in my head, but that's settled. It's settled because I wanted to make sure that yes, we're in a volatile time in federal government. Yes, thousands of people are looking for new jobs. And yes, they're angry, they're mad. But the thing I say to the women in the prison, I want to say here, your purpose is still the same. Your purpose is still the same.
Mm, mm. Man, it's hard to remember that sometimes. I got a lot of questions coming in for you.
Already?
No, I mean, like before you even come on, I sent
Wow.
and I
Wow.
said, what would you like, to ask Dina?
Yes.
And over and over again. So I'm gonna just lump them in.
That's good. That's good.
That a lot of them, they feel like they have passion, purpose, but they're not sure anymore about the power, is what I got.
Ooh. Ooh.
So even I'll give you one that sounds like I always make up names. That sounds like a bunch of
That's
them.
okay.
We're gonna call her Sally Bell.
Okay.
Dear Sandy, please ask Dina how I can keep my power going. I always felt that I was passion driven and had a strong purpose in the world. I do a lot with mental health challenging people. And recently, because of funding being lost and different communities that I work with not being able to afford some of the services I provide, I must admit, Sandy, for the first time ever, I don't feel like my power is as bright as it used to be. Please help.
Ooh, that's how we're gonna open up. Say that's how we open it up.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, I had to. I mean, I have to get this one in there because the rest of them kind of, follow suit.
So what's going to make you laugh is I promise you that about 4 a.m. that answer popped up in my spirit. And I wanted to call you and say, can I update my text? Because I knew I didn't have it in there. So I love this. I woke up this morning and what popped in my spirit is part of the reason we are struggling with walking in our power is because our circles need to be redefined. Especially I'm talking to my women for right now. We have these tight circles, and in our circles, we have mentors, or we should have mentors, coaches, counselors, friends, confidants. But what happens is over the years, we've kept some of those individuals in there that honestly they don't belong there anymore. And I don't want me to put it this way, but somebody had to teach me this. When God begins to elevate us, everyone can go. So part of the reason we lose our power is we have a circle where we're spending so much time either pouring out to others that are no longer my assignment, or they're not equipped to pour into me. There should be people in our circle that we can feed from, grow from, partner with, laugh with, but also pray with. So if your circle is full of people that's constantly draining you, wearing you out, murmuring, and making you do things that are no longer in your current sphere of growth, they're going to wear you down. We have to be intentional to fight for the anointing. The purpose is not just our purpose. And I forgive everybody here that doesn't know of God, but I'm also ordained. So I can't speak about my purpose without talking about that's why I know it came to me from my mother's womb. So we've been given a purpose from birth. We've been given passion, but we got to ignite the passion. But power is one of those things where I got to figure out who am I plugged into. So I have people in my circle, but I also should have something as a higher power. For me, I'm plugged into the God that is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the God that has God the Father, Jesus Christ the Son, and the Holy Spirit as his person. So that's who I'm plugged into. So because I'm plugged into him, I make sure that I go to hear from him in church. I spend time with him alone. I'm spending time in his word. I'm meditating, I'm reading, I'm eating his word. If I eat his word, I will have wisdom and I will have anointing. I will have power that came from up on high. I don't mean just power that you can get from taking a class. I don't mean power from a degree. I mean power that can only come from the one above. So I wake up like this. I'm a fire starter. So I don't have to go to somebody to ignite my passion. I wake up my own passion because I spend time with God on a daily basis. So our power, Sandy, is tied to who's in our circle, but also who we plugged into for the circle. Does that answer your question?
Really does. No, it really does. And I can tell, we were just talking about it before we pushed record.
Yes.
I have the speaker group, shout out to
Yes.
Road Public Speaking. I took a course a few years ago, and 45 to 50 people from all over the world come together to up their speaking talent and get on bigger stages because they are purpose driven. They have some
Yes.
all different belief systems, all different backgrounds, but all want to make a powerful difference in the world. And when I was saying this, why do we get drawn to want to come back so much? And it's in Lambertville, New Jersey, and it takes a lot to get there, and it's costly. And we were
Okay.
saying because everyone is creative and abundant
Yes.
mindset, and we were saying, how can we create that at our homes? So one of the women said, "That's a question for Dina. How, like, she's flying
Wow.
all over to get there." And I don't know her religious beliefs, but with passion and purpose and powerful people that want to do good in the world and are very creative and abundant mindsets. How can she create that at home, not just by going there? And a lot of people
Yes.
do have virtual, but it's not enough. They would love to have that group.
Yes.
So they want to know how to create it from where they are.
And,
Additionally,
and Sandy, let me say this. And I love, love, love when you were talking about that group. I loved it because even though you don't know the ones there and what they believe, I promise you, someone was in the circle. I promise you. It just takes a few that are truly spending time with him to set the room on fire. It just takes a few. Just takes a few. Because what happens is when you're not connected to God and you just go to those powerful groups, that powerful group will get you ignited and it'll last about 30 days because it's good. I'm remembering, I'm thinking about it, I'm calling them. But after about 30 days, I'm looking for the next high. And that's the thing I always say to people like, God, for years I tried to not talk about them. But then God was like, well, wait a second. I gave you training by design as an opening to ministry. I was like, oh, so I had to stop moving past that. So there's some people that cancel the contract or didn't call me back. That's okay. Because what I realize is the God that I serve, because of all that He's done for me, and that what He's done for me isn't new, it's been from birth. Then I recognize that despite what looks like, despite what's happening, despite who's in the White House, none of that, it doesn't bother me, Sandy, because I know who's on the throne, and that has not changed. That hasn't changed. So I'm going to
oh
have
my
fun.
gosh, that's awesome.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings. I pray for him, and I pray for him. We're
No,
supposed
no,
to,
no,
but it
that's
doesn't
awesome.
matter to me. That doesn't matter to me
I
because
get it.
the throne position has not changed. It hasn't changed, Sandy. So when your people come back, when we leave those conferences and we start to feel like, when's the next one? When's the next one? That's when you recognize I need something greater that I can have this same feeling every day.
Yeah, yeah.
We need more. We need more.
I totally, I I love that you said that because then by the way, it makes you feel like you really are more in control.
Yes, because we are. If we know we're connected to,
Yeah.
then we are. I don't need to get up and jump on to see what was said last night. I'm not jumping on X. I'm not jumping to see what was said in the news and what I don't need to do that because I'm jumping into the word because what I need to know is there. I'm not saying I watch the news on occasion during the week to kind of find out what's going on, but I'm not driven by what came out of his mouth. I'm not driven by what decision was just made. Yes, I made some changes to my capability statement because I wanted to be, I did those things, but I didn't get caught up in it because what I know that I know, the fact that I've been in business for 23 years is a God thing. The fact that I've been married for 33 years is a God thing. That's a whole nother show by itself, okay? It makes no earthly sense in both of those while those have happened. My kids have just graduated from college and doing well when I wasn't supposed to have kids. So I'm sorry. My support is in who I'm plugged into. I know God for myself. I know him for myself. As a matter of fact, I just want to share this, Sandy. For 23 years, there's not a class or workshop or something that I have not done in the past 23 years and where there's not been some faith moment that happened in that class or outside of that class. And I mean that somebody has whispered to me, I got to talk to you. And they don't know me. Either got to talk to you. Can I talk to you in the bathroom? Can I talk to you outside? I'm leading people to salvation. I'm praying over people. Some woman's going to kill herself on Monday, but class was on Wednesday, Sandy. And she said, Dina, I just felt like God whispered to me, you paid for the class, wait till Friday, because he knew I was going to get to it. She picked up my spirit and said, can you meet me in the bathroom? So this is real. This is in play for me. This is about, and this it's not just me. This is his desire for all of us to have a purpose from him. He desires that we be ministry in the marketplace every day.
Dina, I
I'm
know
sorry.
it's not play for you. I can feel it.
It's not. I don't play. I don't play. Cause lives. My daughter calls me from college at 20 to say, I think this one is thinking about committing suicide. I said, oh, not on my watch. Get him on the phone. I don't play that because we're supposed to have a strong circle and help somebody else's circle, Sandy. We're supposed to not be so busy trying to get the new multi-million-dollar contract that I can't help her friends in New York
Yes.
City because they're about to take their lives. No,
Mm, mm.
we're supposed to help somebody else. And it's not a money thing because half the time I'm always praying about, Lord, I need this bill paid. And you know what he tells me? Do what I ask you to do, and I take care of the bills. I'm not even gonna go into how many times I didn't pay a mortgage for years on end, and he kept me in my house. We're not even gonna go there. That's another show. I'm just saying, when you do what you're supposed to do, he will take care of you.
Which in your, when you're breaking it down, and like I said to you, like this, I could have a whole retreat with you, but in the amount of time we have, and I have it down broken, passion, purpose, and power. And I'm
Yes.
looking under passion, and I got a lot of questions about this, and you did mention money, so I'm going to home into it, which is, if money was not an object, what tasks, items, or projects would you work on that brings you joy? And we did get a lot of questions about, people are downsizing, things are more
Yes.
expensive, people are losing
Yes.
jobs. So let's home in on that statement.
You want to address, you want me to kind of address how do people handle the money thing, money, or things being so tough and so
I
tight?
want you to address, if money, like why you said if money was not an object, what tasks, items, or projects would you work on that brings you joy?
So it's tied, that's tied to purpose. And the reason I asked that question is because so many people are still saying, I don't really know what my purpose is. So I remind them up in the purpose statement, I remind them that when you wake up in the morning, what is the thing you would love to do? What is the thing that brings you joy? What is
Mm.
the thing that gives you peace? What is the thing that if money wasn't an object? And the reason why I say the money thing is so many people call me for coaching and counseling, and they say, well, Dina, I'm doing this, but you know what? Because again, I have a learning development firm, right? So I'm meeting all these people that are in HR and training, and they're like, I want to do what you're doing, but I can't do a check because I don't really see how to get the check. And I'm like, what? And I said, what are you doing? Well, I'm doing this over here at this agency. I don't really like it. And I think I'm depressed and I'm worried, but how do I get to do what you do? And I got to let them know. I say, guys, you got to desire the thing. You got to trust. Again, I can't talk about this. Not talking about God, because I left a good job. I left a 9 to 5 job I was a senior consultant at a consulting firm on site of the FDIC for 7 years before I started this business. So I had a nice little paycheck, but I kept hearing him whisper, I thought you loved training. I'm like, oh my God, yes, I do. And I was doing a little training, but he said, I need you to do this full time. And I need you to do this because I need you to change lives. So I was clear why I was going to do what I was going to do. But a lot of the money thing was shaky. And I'm gonna kind of answer this with a lot of different pieces. Out of the 23 years I've been in business, I've never had a business loan. Let me be clear, not because I didn't try to. I tried too many times. I went here, I couldn't get one. And part of it was my husband was still working, but his salary was minimal. That's fine. I wasn't mad about that. But now my salary was gone from corporate, and now I'm in this business. And in my mind, I thought that, oh, I thought I was going to be a millionaire in the first 2 years. I didn't realize that's not how it goes. So we're trying to just make ends meet. And then all of a sudden, I began to spend more time in my prayer time, and I began to spend more time in the word. And I started reading scriptures on finances and on money. And I was like, okay, what am I missing? What's happening? And what I realized that obedience, obedience brings blessings. And God began to show me, if you do the things I tell you, and it will be a list. I need you to get what, like my list gonna be different from your list, Sandy. But he will whisper to me some weeks, I need you to get organized. I need you to go take care of this. And some days, I'm not being funny, I would wake up and I'm thinking, we're gonna have this wonderful big prayer time. And he will whisper to me, I need you to fold up the 5 loads today. That's what you're saying to me, God, and we need to pay bills. I gotta go
Yeah.
fold the clothes. But Sandy, he would let me know your home ministry is first. If your home ministry is out of order, I'm not going to bless you out in the public and you can't take care of this. Your husband has made sacrifices. Your kids are still young. I need you to clean this, fold this, and then watch and see what I do. And as I just did those small things, he began to open these doors in federal government. I have no certifications. He's like, but I wanted to open that door because I trust you. So I began to work harder in the things of God than I did in the things of the world. And then the things of the world opened up. Now, even right now, regarding the money, I know this is going to mess some people up, but this is the only answer I have. In the world, this is how the money goes, Sandy. We got to work all these jobs. I got to get all these contracts because I got to have all this money to pay the bills, and I got to buy more things. That's what we do in the world. I have one car, but I need two more, and my neighbor got a Benz, so now I need a Benz. Oh, they're traveling. I need to travel, so I got to make more money to stay up, and I got to look good, and I got to dress good, so I got to get more money. But in the kingdom, in a godly lifestyle, the focus is on tithing, sowing, offering, and giving. Tithing, sowing, offering, and giving. All I can say to you is I'm working to pay my bills. I pay what I can pay, but I'm also a big giver. I'm a big tither. I'm not going to try to get into that. People can call me later on, give them my phone number. People can call me and we can talk about the tithing thing that has a big issue in the world. People are very upset about this whole tithing, meaning the Bible talks about, excuse me, us giving 10% of our money back to the church that we belong to. But it's in that lifestyle of tithing and giving and sowing. I sow by giving free training. Sowing is when you give something, Sandy, to someone to help them grow. So I sow by giving free computer training. I sow when I go into DC Jail every month. I'm ministering to those women free. Nobody pay. I've been there for 21 years, but I sow by ministering to them. I give them life skills. We talk about business, but more importantly, I'm teaching them the word. I'm teaching these women in prison how to forgive themselves, even though they made a mistake. I'm sowing love and I'm reminding them God still loves you. And I sow by giving into young people, by mentoring and coaching them. So I'm sowing it. When you sow into good ground, there is a scripture that says God will give it back, Sandy, 30, 60, 90, or 100 fold. So when I sow into something, I know he's going to give it back because I expect it and I'm doing what he asked me to do. So I don't worry about money anymore. I don't. I got a couple things that need to be paid this week, but I promise you, he had somebody call me last week to remind me of something I did for them in the past. And they said, Dina, you were on my mind. Do you have a need? And I'm just telling you because I want women to know. I'm trying to be transparent. I had a figure last week of some things that need to be paid in the next 20 days. And when this woman called me, she said, tell me what's going on with you. And I was like, no, you know how we do. I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
good. She
yeah,
said, no,
yeah.
you know how we do. She said, Dina, you've been on my mind. Tell me what's going on. And the Lord whispered to me and said, tell her the figure. I told the figure. She says, oh, I need some training. Can you do it next month? And she knows on my daily rate. She says, we can do this. I'm gonna take care of that figure next month. And I was like, what? But God is like, that's what I've been doing for you for 23 years. This isn't new. So the P I wanted to add on here was it's not just about passion, purpose, and power. It's also about prayer and it's about peace.
Mm,
My,
mm.
my business is based in prayer because I'm shaky. I'm shaky without him. Sandy, I'm shaky. But because I know him and I know his word, I know his word and I know, I got some scriptures. That one about Jeremiah. That's why I picked it because I didn't think I was good enough to have a training firm. But he said, baby girl, I decided that you would be passionate with the learning and development firm before you were in your mother's womb. What? I couldn't even mess it up, Sandy. I'm just telling somebody I have not arrived. But yes, I'm ordained, but every day I'm still praying for forgiveness of something I messed up.
Mm.
But this is what I don't question. I know when I enter the room shifts because I showed up. Not because I'm good, but because I'm a carrier of the glory. When you know God, you're a carrier of the glory. Anything else on that matter? Because I know we're out of time. it, we are glory carriers. I just know we're glory carriers, and the world needs us. That's why we have to be passionate. We have to live right. We have to live right. I can add one more P. We have to become women that are, walk in purity. Purity, thank you to the woman that asked about power.
Yeah.
Purity is what increases your power. When you can stop doing I used to do it all. I used to get high. I'm sorry, my husband I'm married to now, he was general manager of a liquor store when we dated. I had a t-shirt that says, we drink good stuff free. I did all of that.
Mm.
I did the weed, I did the drinking, I did the shots of tequila. But I haven't done it for 25 years because I got a glimpse of who God is.
Mm.
I got a glimpse of it, and I decided that that stuff used to feel good, but I want what He has for me. So, Sandy, I had to walk away from some stuff. That's what added to my power. So, if you call me and tell me you're sick, and I come to your hometown and I lay hands on you, I'm not going to lay hands and wonder, are you going to get healed? I know you're going to get healed because I'm walking in purity and I'm coming on behalf of God.
Dina.
We got to let go of some stuff. I know it feels good. I know we did that thing. I know he got your number. And I know he looks up at y'all, all these single women praying for their husbands. He's not going to give you one while you sleep with somebody else's husband. And I can end on that. I just had to say that. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it.
That was a good ending, Dina. All right. Well,
Any other questions? Any other questions, Sandy?
I'll tell you what I want to do here right now.
What you want to do?
I think what I want to do is home in on what you do with training by design? Because we've talked about it a little bit, your company, but I think what would be great, we definitely have, I think, a firm idea on your belief system and how you really connect with passion, purpose, and power. There's no doubt. So I want to know how you put that into training by design with what you offer.
Excuse me. So, training by design, our core mission is that we create global learning and development solutions designed to shift cultures. Saying that we believe that every time, that we train someone or develop a team, we are shifting their culture one class at a time. Okay. So from the corporate side, corp agencies, private, nonprofit companies, they call us to say, Dina, we know that we need some training, but we don't know where to begin. So we have a dialogue around what is your current culture? Let's talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about, we got to talk about it. I say, don't give me, I don't need the PhD version. I say, give me the five bullets or the 5 words that represent your current culture. And then we address, what does the new culture look like? Some people's offices are so broken and so full of confusion. They don't even know what the future. I said, well, do you want it to be collaborative? Do you want it to be accountable? Do you want an environment of trust? Because I know nobody trusts anybody. Do you want an environment where they trust each other? Do we want an environment where there's high engagement, high synergy? Do we want an environment where folks are building think tanks internally and working together and looking forward to growing? There should be passion projects coming out of businesses. I said, do you want that? If you want that, let's build a training plan. So we'll build a training plan based on that. And sometimes they may just say, we have a bunch of customer service issues and we need them resolved. We can build it based on your case, the case challenge you're having. We can build it based on the challenges with your culture, or we can just build it based on the future of what you want to do in the office. But on another note, one of the things that we're working really hard on, we're doing some small classes, some individual sessions, some individual coaching with individuals that are out there mad because their company that they worked for did not develop them, Sandy. And I'm reminding them, I'm sorry that they didn't take the road to do what they should have, but we're grown, we're adults. It's our job. It's our job to develop us. It's our job to decide. We're in July right now. There's a lot that can happen between July and December if you want to shift. What do you want to be when you leave 2025? What do you want to say about yourself? Do you want to be a better leader? Do you want to be healed? You want to be delivered? You want to know the computers? You want to know MS Project? Whatever it is, write those things down. Then let us create an individual development plan for you and let's make that happen. But bottom is, if you don't have the money, do it yourself. Google and Harvard Business Review are offering free classes. We have no reason to not be smarter, Sandy. Sandy, we don't, except for procrastination.
It's
Sandy,
so
and I'm sorry, if you have not been on AI, you spend 2 days on AI, you will have a certificate, okay? With all the stuff they're teaching you, there's no reason we're not smarter, except for we don't think we deserve to be smarter. Right?
oh, so true. So
We
true.
gotta we gotta develop ourselves. It's our job. It is our job. It would be nice if the agencies would all do it, but if they don't, that's okay. If I want to make more money, I need to develop myself. If I want to be better, I need to develop I gotta I think that's why I love learning development. People think when I develop classes, Sandy, that I know all these topics. Sometimes I just wrote it last week. So Sandy, when I'm teaching it, that thing is bouncing back up me. And I'm like, whoa, who wrote that? It's so
I agree.
yummy because again, God's in the room. He's saying to me, I need you to do better at this, Dina. I need you to do this. I'm learning. I'm learning AI as I teach it. I'm learning project management more as I teach it. I'm learning how to be better organized as I teach that. I'm helping somebody do their process. I'm coming home doing my own. Okay. We should be sowing into good ground. When you sow, it's going to come back to you, Sandy. You already know that. You already know that.
Dina,
Sandy, you're so precious.
it it was just coincidental, by the way. And I don't believe in coincidence. It was everything is perfectly timed that I had Tawanda on the show last week.
Wasn't that powerful? I saw that. I heard that
And,
fire.
and
I heard that.
you can have a neuroscience. You never know what you're going to get. But Tawanda and you, perfect timing. Perfect
Love
time.
her spirit. She's a dear friend of mine. Love her. She's a dear friend of mine, and I call her one of my mentors. She says I'm her spiritual advisor. I said, well, you're my business mentor, so we have a good time
I
whenever
love
we
it.
get together. She's a blessing.
Dina, thank you for coming on the show. I really, really appreciate it. But before we go, tell us how they can find you.
How can they find me? They couple different ways, but I'm going to first give them the ease, but they are welcome to call, okay? They're welcome to call
Okay.
301 640 1203 301 640 1203. They're welcome to call. They can also email us, a little lengthy, but my email is dnance, D and my last name, Nance, at training by design inc.com. dnance at trainingbydesigninc.com. And they're welcome to visit our website at www.trainingbydesigninc.com. They're welcome to, and we'd love to give them just a complimentary session, just where we can kind of chat about a complimentary meeting where we kind of talk about where they are and where they want to go. Because again, bottom line is that it's our job. It's our job to prepare for the next. It's our job to get
Mm.
developed for the next. Because the promise is they're going to come, Sandy. They're going to come. So we just need to be prepared for the promise.
Oh, Dina, is there anything we didn't get in that you want to share with women around the world and men that support us?
I think the biggest thing is about the passion piece, because we talked about that a little bit, but I just want to share with that real quick. When you're depressed, or when we're worried, or we're confused, or we're angry because they let me go and I was 2 years from retirement, or I'm mad because you let me go and my spouse just died, there's a lot happening. Harvard Business Review wrote an article at the start of COVID. They wrote an article around July of 2020, and the article talked about passion in the workplace. And they said, if you don't create a workplace environment for your staff to be passionate now, you're not going to be able to keep them. And it was out of that that we created this workshop entitled, we did it in two pieces, either the leader within passion, purpose, and power, or leading with passion, purpose, and power. We wrote that, and then we really honed in on the passion piece. When you're depressed and worried, you have got to muster up enough strength to remember what you are passionate about. Okay. For me, I'm passionate about God. I'm passionate about His Word, but I'm passionate about learning and development. I'm passionate about seeing people learn a new topic that makes them confident
Mm.
and creative and innovative. And it reminds them of why they were put on this earth. Because when we get depressed, we forget that. So that's my passion. So I tell people, when you forget what you're passionate about, spend time in that. Go find people that are fire starters. They're fire starters at the job, and they're fire starters in the world. Go spend some time with them. Have a cup of coffee. Ask them, can you meet with them the next 3 Fridays for 1 hour? Because you just need to ask a few questions and just sit in their presence. Ask them what they're reading. Ask them where they like to go and get inspiration. Ask them how many times they go on vacation. Ask them who's in their circle. When you find out what passion fire starters are doing, it'll ignite yours. I promise you, it'll ignite yours. But what happens is we keep going back to those dry people in our circle that zapping us, and we can't move past here. So we got to go find fire. We got to go find inspiration and ask them, can you get into their presence? Can you sit with them? And then the last piece, Sandy, and I mean this, go find a church home. Go find a church home. Open up a Bible. Get off the telephone and read the Bible. Go get a book Bible. Go get a real book. Open it up and just spend a few moments. People always say to me, well, I don't know what to start reading. You know what I say, Sandy? It's not pornography. It doesn't matter where you start, okay? Whether you start in Genesis, Sandy, people just act like, it makes
Oh
me
my
so
God.
mad because we come up with all these reasons. I don't really know what to start reading. I don't really know if God's real. Well, you know what? If you want to chance that in this season, I'm not going to chance it. I
We're
know
going
what
to
to do
end on that, Gina.
because
All right.
we're going to end on that. It's real, Sandy. But I love God because He always tries to give us second chances to get it right. So that's where we are. So they need to ignite their passion, find some passion starters, and get ready for their promotion.
All right, my peeps from Hey, I Got Something to Say. Dina and I would really appreciate you sharing this with someone that you know there's so many people that would benefit from watching or listening to this episode. Please like, rate, and subscribe. It means the world to me. And you know what I'm going to say. Until next time, toodles.